Okay, in this video I want to talk about how you tackle feelings of overwhelm or perhaps even imposter syndrome. And that's something that comes up so much. It's actually one of those kind of, I don't want to say sad, it's actually quite nice when people open up and they send in a DM and they say, look, I'm feeling really overwhelmed. How do you tackle that? Or I really feel like, I'm really feeling like an imposter, who am I to do this? Or perhaps if I do this, I'll be exposed, people will see that I really don't know what I'm doing in this space. And the most important thing, and the kind of first thing I tell everybody, is actually those feelings are normal and everyone gets them. I'm amazed that even when you talk with real big celebrities or really well-established entrepreneurs, it's one of the kind of key questions I always ask, and yeah, everybody's normal. Everybody has those same feelings. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, I wouldn't actually acknowledge it as a bad thing. I'd actually say, well done. Because if you're feeling overwhelmed, you're pushing yourself, and you're pushing yourself into a space that's new. Recognizing that is key. That actually feelings of overwhelm or imposter syndrome aren't a bad thing, but a clear indication that you're pushing yourself forward. And so recognizing them as a good thing and a kind of a necessary stepping stone that you have to go through is key. Now, understanding what makes those feelings pass is really interesting. It's really simply familiarity. Think of it. If you're in a new space, of course you're going to feel overwhelmed. But the more used to it that you get, or the more you exercise yourself in that space, the more familiar you become, and the less you feel those feelings of overwhelm. So, knowing that in doing anything new, initially speaking, you're going to feel overwhelmed, but as you do it more and more and you get more and more familiar to it, the less you'll feel those feelings of overwhelm. And in actual fact, the more you'll kind of step up in that space, shine, and do really well. That's a kind of a nice thing to know, that that's the light at the end of the tunnel. Now, the unfortunate thing is that as you step up, you step into a new problem, you get those same feelings of overwhelm or imposter syndrome, but then a bit of familiarity will get you through and get you to the point where you stand up over that with that experience behind you. And well, the cycle repeats itself. And so you will always feel feelings of overwhelm. You will always feel senses of imposter syndrome, provided you are always pushing yourself and always driving yourself. And so it's not about avoiding those feelings, it's actually becoming aware of those feelings, aware that they are normal, aware that they are part of the journey, and also conscious that the familiarity and the experience will push you past that, but onto the next one. And that's an interesting thing. A lot of the time in entrepreneurial careers and in life, we think that problems will pass. In actual fact, our capacity to deal with those problems grows. And those problems grow in tune. And you can either give in and let them overwhelm you, or you can keep stepping up into bigger problems, more exciting problems that fire you up with purpose and drive. And so I will push this onto you to please don't get overwhelmed by the small things, our feelings of imposter syndrome. Lean into them, push through them, and keep following that journey, because you will be shocked at where it takes you to a whole more exciting, much more fun, much more purposeful space.